Nice. Yeah, keep pulling him in for joining. Use your hand, use your energy, use all the tools you're going to need when he's away from you. He's not going to feel it. It's not going to be that strong the further he is away. So the more you practice that and the more he's engaged, the easier it will be to get him back or not lose him. So you can grab the handle with your right hand and put the tip to his hip. And remember the V, kind of like drive him into your energy. Good girl, look at him. Good girl. And you can hug him too if he gets stuck. That's the beauty of that. That's why we love those lunge whips right now. Good. Much better than yesterday. He was so
gone by now.
And the wind didn't help too, so we just got to keep that in mind. We don't have that today, but also it's the work, the consistency of that. Good, look at you. Nice. And he's yawning a little. That was all. I love how slow this is going. Love it. Love it. Look how relaxed he is. You're not losing any of that. Beautiful. And that's okay. Yeah, you did fabulous. Gently. That was beautiful. That was perfect. Yeah. Well, that was good. He's not a stupid horse. The wind, you just got to work through that wind. It's all of them. They all can get like that. Good girl. Look at that. Cluck a little. You can cluck. Yep, there you go. Yep, little correction. Very nice. Oh my God. I heard that breathing. I was not expecting big nostrils right behind me. You know what? I wasn't expecting anything. Good girl. And back up. Beautiful. Just keep backing up. Bring your energy. Pull them in. Good. Good. Good change. Good change. Good. Good. Excellent. What a nice change, huh?
Yeah. Yesterday, this is what I had today.
I know.
And I feel like a lot of it is me.
You're so soft
because
today.
I'm just trying to just focus on my energy, not the technique of it.
Good. It's showing up. Yeah, he's very receptive, and that's a good point. I would agree more with that than I would just the consistency of the work, because when I've worked with him, he's gotten it
immediately.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So good. Good awareness. Good girl.
My kids, when I want to know how I'm doing, I look at them. I think it's the same way here.
That's your relationship. He gets you. He gets it. Beautiful. So add a little bit more fluff. Now, let's talk about this. Let's talk about reading. Let's talk about reading. And you assessing so far, learning how to assess him thus far. So he's losing interest. So it's your job right now as he's developing to maintain it. And that's what I love about the nuances and minutiae of this work, which is the energy, the push, the pull, go, come. Any second you can change according to where you need to be for this horse. So that's the flexibility, and it will only come when you're truly in the moment. You've learned enough this week to know enough tactics or strategies. What do I do with this? You've got to stay a little bit more present. Read the thoughts before he commits to the action. How do you read the thought? It's always in their eyes. So watch me for a second. I'm your horse. You've just sent me to the left. And I start out, yes ma'am. And the minute I go here, I've left you. So your job is to keep me here to the best of your ability. So that's why we take those baby steps. And then we push a little further before we lose them and pull them back. So that pull's got to be so strong. So that's how you catch the thought before he commits to the action. Because once he commits to it, it's kind of a hit or miss. If you go to correct that, he could be, I'm out of here. Right now, it's going very well. And you're correcting him, and he's coming right back, which is excellent. Because if he would not have done that yesterday. So the online work really worked well for him yesterday. But just be careful of that. If it was windy out, it might not work. That might be just a bit too much pressure to just escalate him. So change this more. Not so quick with the tool. Right here, buddy. How about while he's going around, watch with my eyes left. Oh, here you are. Come here. Good boy. What's in it for him? Good boy. Let him know you're so proud and pleased with you while he's out here. That's what you create. The horse that wants to please you more. You create a work ethic because you're bringing the relationship into the work. And the horse is all about praise and pleasing. That's how they get along. You can't, and if we don't want to please, then we don't want to get along. Then we're confrontational. Horses are not confrontational. They're not by nature. They all want to get along. They all want to find that place to get along, to fit in. We got to find that sweet spot. What's going to motivate that horse the most to want to please and to want to work with me?
Little fuzzy hair, it's cute on his lip.
His mole.
Oh, that's a mole? That's what that is?
It's a mole. Yeah. Had that since a baby. And the more you talk to your horses, the more you guys breathe. So that was a lot of pressure. You could have done the opposite. Talk to him more. Have that conversation. There you go.
Too much pressure?
Yeah, you're going to get him riled up. Be careful. Go slower. Good. Beautiful. No, it's so pretty. Bend your arm, so you let him out. Bend your arm and pull him in. You're here. So the connection was lost through the resistance in your body. Good. Beautiful. That's powerful. You have a tendency when you send out, you're here at the whip and here really tight in your arm. So any brace, like when we ride, any brace in our body locks energy and is a resistance to movement. It opposes movement. So you just threw them out there. You kicked them over here. So when you go back to the DVDs, and especially the lunging one, you want to, one hand is always guiding the front end and one hand's guiding the hind end. So appropriately, the whip guides the hind end and the other hand guides the front end. So think of being a puppeteer. You know, you're sending him out, but you don't want to lose him. Come back, come back, come back, come back. What? I hear a couple things in the woods, but... Good. Breathe, breathe. You're okay. Breathe when you put your hand back out there and pull him in. Not like that. Don't walk in. Back up and pull him in. Good. He comes every time you do it. He comes every time you do it. And make sure you breathe when you're pulling him in. Breathe down into your belly. The breath work is so important. That's going to be the biggest connecting piece when you ride. That's the safety piece. The deepest piece. Right? Because we can all have technique. I can put a bit in and I can put whatever I want and grab hold of that horse's mouth, but if they're going, they're blowing, man. And my breath work is what saved me with Smokey. It wasn't I pulled the whole bit through his mouth. I'm up here grabbing the bridle at this point, and he's still, that freaked him out. He's blowing even more, running left. And I just let go of everything and sat back and went,
Wow.
I'll never forget that. He was quite the bolter.
That takes real surrender to go to that place in that moment.
Trust. It took real trust, you guys, in myself, and that was huge because the tree line was at the fence over there, and it was low trees. I mean, and I could have gotten off. Yeah, but I'm like, I got to figure this out. I was like, I got to figure this out. This has got to stop. So he taught me more than any horse the breath work and how important it was to be as aware as I could in my riding because it was the only thing that saved him every time he got triggered. But after 2 years, there was no more bolting. No more bolting. I'm pretty proud of that, considering what a traumatic mess he was. Yeah. He is. He is that.
Definitely the best ride of my life. Seriously.
He's got a great gait. He's like a Cadillac. Yeah. He's a glider. He doesn't have a lot of action, as you guys can see. I'm so pleased where his payoff is. If he never gets that bigger, I don't care. Because he's this. He's not this. And it's just not the way he's built. His dad was a champion reining horse. Yeah. It's clear. Good. I love that he comes back to you every time. And the question. Good. Yep, back up and bring him to the center again. There you go. Good.
But
So what do you think's going on now?
blowing me off, losing my attention.
I don't think he's blowing you off or he wouldn't come back. So let's do a process of elimination because you're going to be by yourself after today, you know, for the most part. Start retracing your tracks. And I see a clear pattern because you've done it consistently. So I'm asking you if you're aware.
Am I getting stiff when I come up so that I'm pushing him out with my body?
Keep thinking about backtrack, retrace your steps. When is it that he leaves you? And what do you do when he leaves you? Are you aware of what you're doing when he leaves?
I'm going like this.
You're also coming on really strong and smacking the whip. And so now that he leaves, he starts breathing really heavy. He starts to get anxious. So you're correcting him, and you can't right now.
So what do I do in that moment?
We've talked about you...
Just clucking?
What, hon?
Just clucking?
Clucking and backing up and really grounding. And paying more attention to when he's leaving you, when he's thinking about it. And so when he's thinking about leaving you, back up and pull him in. He's not blowing you off. This is really hard for him. How do you know? Because every time he comes back when you ask him. But if you keep making this mistake, he won't. He won't trust you. So go slower. Take smaller steps. Don't ask so much of him. He's offline. And round pen triggers him. So maybe you're asking for too much too soon, for him to go too far. You know, you're not spending enough time for him to come back and relax. So you're asking him out again, and he's kind of up. Listen to him. Does his breathing start to escalate and hyperventilate? It has been. So there's all of these sensory awareness, you know, this process for you to pay more attention to all the signs of if you're not careful, it's a teeter-totter right now. If you're not careful, whoop, it's going to go off the other edge, the other side. He can't, you're just getting excited because he's done this online. Doesn't mean you can do it offline. And you get greedy. You push. Yeah, you push. You want it, you want it, you want it. And then it shows up and he's not going to put up with that. It worries him, but be careful with him because he's a pretty confident little guy. And I've noticed his ears pinning today on more than one occasion. Arabs are bred to have a lot of self-esteem. Self-esteem is self-preservation. Self-esteem is will. I may not have been a very confident teenager, but I had a strong sense of myself. And that's what carried me through. And I never did anything stupid when I had my panic attacks. I never thought of anything stupid, and I never did anything stupid. I just shut down. If I didn't have such a strong sense of myself, I might have gotten into drugs, drinking, promiscuity, hurting myself, suicidal. You gotta watch.
So why do you think his ears are pinning today as opposed to any other day?
He's not going to put up with a lot. If you're not clear, If you keep sending him a lot of mixed messages, he's going to get pissed. If you ask something of him that he can't do, he's going to let you know. That's an Arab. Very honest. And they were bred to have this amazing self-preservation, this nobility about them. If you read the history, we're pretty all familiar with the Bedouins. You know, they raised the Arabs to live as family members in their tents. They were not horses. They were prized family members. And they also were alarmed. They were their guard dogs. And people would try other, what would be the right word back in that time, 1,000 years, whatever, other tribes would try to steal. I mean, that you couldn't hurt a man more than take his prized horse. So they grew up with that feeling of how much they meant, and that's the Arab has that majestic ego, like, yeah, I'm all that. So it's not just confirmation, it's how they feel about themselves. Respect it. You just respect it. Pay attention to it and respect it. It's also going to be the best thing for liberty and for a lot of any kind of high school upper level maneuvers you want to do, because he not only can move that well, but he has that in him to really have that exuberance. We've already seen him play a little bit this week. You know, whew. Legend taught me that very well. You don't see that in Snooki. You don't see that in any, that's an Arab. That's another, Lovey has that. She's got a lot of Arab in her. You'll see that when you played with her a little bit. Very protective. Horses like that are very, very smart. Very possessive. Very protective too, so you got to watch out for that. There's so many phases to their development, and in your development of your relationship, it's amazing. Legend used to be extremely jealous, which is insecurity, and very possessive of me, with people and other horses, and that's not Lay anymore. It really, Sundance is mama protective of me, but they keep evolving too. We keep evolving together. It's interesting.
So is that something that you did anything with, or it just evolved on its own?
It evolves on its own through this work. Yep, they all become that way. All my horses have always, in the horses I work with that I have deep relationships with, just for short periods of time, yeah. But you got to be careful. Sundance has taken it too far, and I've gotten hurt. Yeah, you got to be careful. Yeah. Got to check it. So what happened there? I was putting my water down, and it happened in a second. Did you back him up?
I just lifted up, and he took a few steps back, and I was about to, I just kind of lifted a little bit more, and he was gone.
Okay, so your energy's shifted. So he's just a really clear mirror of you. Very clear, of all of us. It's just an Arab. Like I said, you love them or you hate them. They're brilliant. They're brilliant. So he's looking to be grounded right now. He's looking for that energy. So you need to go slower. Yep. Come on, get him. Come and get him. You can bring him back. Make sure you're breathing. Good. There was that ear pain for just a nanosecond. So go even slower. Take your energy up more slow and pause if you have to and bring it down. Just feel that out. Slow it down even more. Be powerful, not quick. Remember, be more powerful. What does power, how does that show up? What does it feel like in your body? There's a time to be quick and strong, make your point, and there's a time to be real powerful about stuff. Okay. All right. So he's just not going to take that chance with you. So don't let him come in all the way. Let him stay out there. Good. What's going on inside you?
I'm feeling anxious.
About what?
Because I'm traveling and all these things are going through my mind about getting back, about the kids, about work, and I'm like in that place right now.
Yep. And it's confusing to him. It's incongruent. He's a good teacher for you. It's totally incongruent for him.
Sorry, buddy.
Just be honest about it. Just Katie, we went through this morning before you got here. Perfect. Katie's like, I'm so exhausted. I'm loving this, but I just don't know how much effort I can put into this morning. And she did it, and how she did it was she's just like, I said, Katie, I can tell because Joey's off a little bit. Joey was a little bit more up because of that. And I said, Joey's got to learn. They all do that. They've got to become a little bit, it's such a give and take. But Joey's totally different. Joey's got trauma, so we're just going to talk about Joey's trauma right now. Joey's got to learn to become more self-reliant and hold that space for himself. And it's totally different for your guy. But Katie allowed herself to be exhausted, and she just said, she's like, okay, I'm going to talk about it. I'm just going to be wherever I need to be and show up however I show up. She didn't have any expectations for herself.
Yeah, you have to take that away for it to work.
And so you're pressuring yourself because you're leaving. Everything has been fantastic up until like 10 minutes ago, and then everything shifted. And I could see it building because you just kept pushing and pushing through.